Battle of Gods, Toriyama's gift to Dragon Ball fans, or a shill of a movie that doesn't deserve its praise. Hello there, beautiful friends from all around the world, and in every single country. I am your host, Blackenfist, and Battle of Gods, I already did my review of it, so my opinion is pretty well out there. But this video is not going to be about just my opinion. It's going to be a wider reception of how Battle of Gods was received. And of course, most of the things that I've been seeing about Battle of Gods have been positive. But you know what? Almost everything has two sides. And some people are suggesting that, well, perhaps Battle of Gods is overrated. It does not deserve all the praise it's getting. And some even say it could be the worst movie of them all. Well, considering the fact that I did have a favorable opinion about the movie, I actually do want to address some of these statements. Now granted, I've seen most people praise the movie. However, I do think that Battle of Gods has its own problems. Now, when you tackle the question of whether Battle of Gods is overrated, and that is the only reason Battle of Gods is getting so much praise, is because it's just a new Dragon Ball Z movie in such a long time, and that perhaps we're just getting too excited over that. Well, although that might be the case for some people, I can definitely assure you that, at least in my own case, that was not it. The reason I did have a high opinion about Battle of Gods was not because it was just a new Dragon Ball movie. I would be lying that I wasn't excited because it was a new Dragon Ball movie, but when honestly assessing the movie and trying to analyze it, the reason I say it's a really good movie and one of the best is because the way I did it is I was comparing Battle of Gods to what came before, the previous Dragon Ball Z movies. And when I look at all those other movies that have come before Battle of Gods, I can say with a lot of certainty that Battle of Gods as a movie, as a Dragon Ball Z film, is better than most of the previous movies that have come out. In my own mind, the only two movies that even come close to Battle of Gods are my two favorite movies, which is Broly the Legendary Super Saiyan, and my favorite movie, or my previous favorite movie, I'm not sure about that now, is Wrath of the Dragon. So regardless of where Battle of Gods falls, for me at least, it goes in at the very least top 3. Where exactly it falls in that, I'm not sure yet, and I think I will reserve my judgment until I've actually seen the full movie, which will come out on DVD and Blu-ray, which does include 20 extra minutes of the movie. I think it will only be fair for me to make that call once I've seen all of it. But as it stands now, it's definitely one of the best. So when people say, oh, it's overrated, in a sense, yes. In another sense, no. I do overrate Battle of Gods above the rest of the movies. I think this is a very fair comparison. What other thing would you be comparing Battle of Gods to but the previous movies? And when you compare it to the previous movies, Battle of Gods is definitely in the top tier of Dragon Ball movies in terms of quality, in terms of characters, in terms of animation. Now, of course, some people might have varying opinions about Battle of Gods and what movies are in that top tier, and that's not what I'm going to hear to discuss though. I have heard other more ridiculous statements, like trying to say Battle of Gods is as bad as Bio Broly, or even that Battle of Gods is worse than Bio Broly, which I do find a little funny. Now, granted, I actually never hated Bio Broly. In fact, I actually enjoyed that movie. However, even though I enjoyed it, I did realize that there were a lot of problems with that movie, and I do know that because of those problems, it's considered one of the weakest of the Dragon Ball Z films. Battle of Gods was no exception. Although Battle of Gods did way more things right than Bio Broly, it had its own problems. And I can be honest about saying that. Pretty much all of the Dragon Ball Z movies have had their own problems. In the way I view things, it's just, do those problems really get in the way of it being a good movie? When assessing a Dragon Ball movie, that is what I'm looking for. How many good things did the movie do right? did the movie hit its points that it wanted to. And Battle of Gods definitely did what it needed to do, what it was trying to do, and the problems that it had were at a very low minimum. Bio Broly is one of the weakest examples where the problems added up, and even though I did enjoy it, the problems were kind of in your face throughout the whole movie, and you had to accept a couple things. Now, by no means am I trying to say, guys, that whoever doesn't like Battle of Gods is wrong, because that's clearly what I'm not really trying to say. Obviously, people were expecting different things from this movie, and the movie obviously didn't deliver on all fronts. Perhaps the movie could have been more action-packed, and that thing that was lacking in the movie perhaps is the reason why people have a lower opinion about it. But for me, being an action-packed movie is not by itself gonna make Battle of Gods a good movie, especially if that's not what that movie was trying to do in the first place. As long as there is enough action, I don't think the whole movie should be just about that. But obviously, there has always been a divide in the fan base about, you know, the more comical side of Dragon Ball. And let's face it, some people like it, some people don't. Obviously, Battle of Gods being a comedic movie was going to be a polarizing move. And that's fine if you really don't like these comedic moments. I can understand that. You know, the comedic portions of the movie could make it too hard to take seriously during the action scenes, which I could say is a good criticism of the movie. Another criticism about the movie is that it has some things that don't quite make sense. Well guys, I'm actually not gonna disagree on you with this one. Yeah, I think there were some things that didn't seem right if you're thinking about it in terms of how it fits with the rest of the series. But you see, I did not judge this movie in terms of how it fits to the rest of the series, and one reason why is because that's not how you judge the rest of the movies. If you started to judge the other movies on their continuity to the rest of the series, then most of these movies commit much greater offenses in terms of the continuity to the series than Battle of Gods did. So I at least try to apply the same standard with all the movies, but this is understandable because there has been a lot of statements saying that this movie should fit with the rest of the series, and that has led fans to judge it on that standard. However, even before coming into the movie, I was always skeptical of this, and even if it's true, I was always going to judge the movie as a movie, not in how it fits to the rest of the series, because I feel that would be unfair to the movie. And as for all these inconsistencies, I will be talking about this in a later video, but that's another topic for another day. But overall, guys, that's pretty much my argument here. You can like or dislike Battle of Gods, that's up to your opinion. However, I do try to apply the same standard that I did to the other movies when I'm judging Battle of Gods. And I also think that comparing it to the weaker movies like Bio Broly without honestly acknowledging the faults of Bio Broly and Battle of Gods and measuring them up is quite dishonest. So, I guess that's me trying to defend Battle of Gods' honor. I guess if, you know, Battle of Gods was actually a person. But, as I said before, I will be doing more Battle of Gods videos in the future, but you know, if I have done Battle of Gods videos in the past, which is my review of the movie, and if you're interested, the link will be in the description. That is my full review of Battle of Gods in the movie, and yes, I know guys, I fucked up with the oob part. I should have known better. I know. I was thinking about taking the video down, but it was late at night. But regardless of that, I know I fucked up on the oob part, but you know, I guess I'm human too. Anyway, this has been Blackenfist.